Welcome to HK Off-Road. My name is Bash. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for your support. Thank you for the following and all your ideas. Today we're here, got a few things laid out on the table. This is about our front tow hitch receiver with the Shackle tabs. This was supposed to be a simple project, but nothing seems to come out of this building in a simple manner. Everything just happens to get, well, heavy duty. That's all we know how to build. In front of me, I have the WK version. We're gonna install this on our WK outside, and then we'll go out to a friend's house and we're gonna tow something, and he's got a 2,500 pound trailer. We're also gonna show you how to install this on a WJ out in the desert. Obviously it has a steel front bumper. We're not interested in removing that bumper, so we're just gonna mount it underneath and put it to the test. A few key points during testing. We wanna see how well the 2-inch receiver will hold up in a winching situation. We're gonna use a 12,000 pound winch. We also wanna see the ease of installation. And we're interested to see how it does in a side pull situation when you're gonna have to winch sideways. In front of us, we have the WK version. I wanna show you, this is the WJ version here. And this is the WK version here. The WJ version takes 3 bolts on each side, a total of 6 bolts, but the WJ has 1 bolt going through the shackle tab itself. The WK version has 4 bolts, so these are factory mounting locations. The 4th bolt, we extended it all the way to the back. We passed the radiator support, and you're gonna drill 1 hole in the WK and in the XK Commander. The center section for both products are the same. We have the 2-inch receiver. We have 1 piece solid gusset. This is a 1/4 inch plate. This goes behind. So it gives the 2-inch receiver side load support. And then on the bottom, we've got 1 more gusset to give it vertical load support. To install this on a WK, you'll need a 14mm socket, 7mm socket, 10mm socket, and I would like to add, you'll need a flathead screwdriver. You need the same tools for both cars. For the WK, I suggest that you get yourself a step drill bit, and that's to drill the 4th hole. For the WK, we have the 1/4 inch sandwich plates, as we call them. The sandwich plates goes inside the frame rail. We've got the nuts welded on there for you, so you're not fiddling around trying to, mount it. Very simple process. So let's go outside and get this thing mounted up. Remove your negative battery terminal. Remove the clips. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 clips. Get them out of there. Using a 7mm socket, remove the bolt holding the bumper to your fender. Remove the 3 clips holding your wheel fender to your bumper. They're just plastic clips. They're probably gonna break, so you're gonna need replacements. Or you could just do like me, remove your fender liner completely. What do you need it for? Using a 10mm socket, there's 3 bolts holding the bottom of the bumper to something. I think it's mounted to the radiator support. So using a 10mm socket, remove those 3 bolts underneath the bumper. Now by the time you're watching this video, if I know WJ and WK owners well, you've probably already removed your front bumper about 26 times. So me showing you this is probably pointless, but hey, why the hell not? It just slides right off. Be sure to disconnect the fog light harness. Using a 10mm socket, remove these steel covers which cover the interior of your frame rails. There's 1 on each side. Insert the sandwich plates inside the frame rail and try to line them up with the holes right now, approximately. Take your hardware. You're gonna have 8 bolts, 2 nuts. The other 6 bolts are already welded to your sandwich plates. You can do this by yourself. What you wanna do is bring the front tow receiver up to its position and get the first bolt in from here, get the second bolt in from here, and that'll kind of hold it in place. Then you'll put the other 3 bolts, you'll position it, and then last you will drill the holes all the way in the back and mount your 4th bolt. Goes in this way. These 2 mounting points here require for you to install a nut into the frame rail. We'll install that right there, and we'll get that tightened up. Just use hand right now to tighten everything. Once you have everything lined up and you're ready to drill that 4th hole, I recommend removing the bolts that are attached to the sandwich plate. That way when you're drilling, you don't end up drilling into your nut that's welded to the frame rail. But you want to get it all hand tightened and positioned well, so the 4th hole is perfectly drilled. All right, we got 6 bolts on there. And the hardware that we use for every single one of our products are serrated edge flang nuts. So serrated edge flang nuts, once they bite into the steel, they don't come apart. You don't need Loctite, you don't need washers, you don't need anything. Using a 1/4 inch socket, go ahead and tighten everything up. Once you're done, give it a good hand tight. A lot of people ask me, Bash, what's the torque specs on these? Torque spec, tighten the down. My dad didn't know torque spec growing up. Dad, how tight? Tight, son. Until you can't tighten no more. This is a 2009 model. 2008, 9, and 10 have the same front end as far as the bumper goes. What I've learned is that the 2008, 9, and 10, the bumper sticks out about 1.5 inches more forward. So 2005, 6, and 7, the bumper is 1.5 inches in. Makes no difference with the product. This will go on the WKs for all those years and the XK Commanders from 2006 to 2010. I think the XK Commander went up to 2010. Don't quote me on that. If it didn't, what's the big deal? Minus a year, huh? Let's go tow some stuff. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take that trailer down. The trailer is 18 feet by 8 feet. Is that 18 by 8 or 18 by 10? 18 foot by 10 foot. It weighs about 2,500 pounds. So, and this is a nice steep grade. It's probably a 30% incline, 30 to 35% incline, or degree, sorry, 30-degree incline. So we'll tow it down from the back. I'm gonna park it when we get to the bottom, switch it to the front, and then we're gonna push it up this narrow, steep driveway. We'll have a good time doing that. That's sufficient. I want to tow it down.
Inche.
The boat?
No.
Don't do it, right?
You're kidding me.
I want to push it up on low range.
No way.
But then all the weight's going to be in the front, right?
Adiga motor standard barely on the hane.
But it's low range of?
Low range come high range. Hammer no way for yelle.
So don't even do it.
No way.
A few moments later. I don't even want to look at it, to be honest with you. I don't want to see what's going to happen to that car. That boat's got no business on that car. It's a 26-foot Cicero Striper 2601 walk around. I don't know, 9,000, 10,000, 11,000 pounds. About 1,000 pound tongue weight connected to our front tow hitch. In the beginning when I saw the boat, I didn't want to do it. But after I moved the trailer, of course, I'm a rock crawler, you gotta do it. It's like an obstacle. We're gonna park it back. If you notice, the front suspension's bottomed out. I don't recommend this. This is strictly for testing purposes. Let's park it back, and then once we park it back, let's go to the desert. I was contacted by a gentleman in the East Coast. He wants to have a removable winch because he doesn't want the winch exposed to the elements, road salt, icy conditions, things of that nature. So he just wants to put the winch on when he needs it, take it off, but he also wants front recovery points. So he asked me if he could mate our recovery points with another product offered by another winch manufacturer. So I asked him to send me a photo of what he's trying to do. I put two of them together, and I did not see any type of reinforcement or structural rigidity on the tow receiver, which he wants to mount with our shackle tabs. So I sat down, drew up a plan, and we came up with this product. So today out here in the desert, you might be thinking to yourself, well, where are you gonna winch? There's really not much here. There's a few spots that we're gonna go ahead and have a good time. We're gonna be winching forward, uphill, downhill, and sideways. Manufacturers do not recommend winching sideways because it may damage the drum. So I do need to make that disclaimer. But when's the last time you had to winch yourself out of a sticky situation and it was a perfect straight line? It doesn't always work like that, does it? All right, we're gonna mount this up right now. So it takes 6 bolts. The rear bolt here is a factory mounting location. There's a nut welded inside the frame rails. And then 2 bolts from here. There's a sandwich plate that goes inside the frame rail. I've already put that in there. You've seen it in our other videos. And the bolt, one of the bolts actually goes through the shackle tab. So let's get it on. If you had a brother who could help you, it'd be great. Hold it. This is a sealed motor, 100% sealed. And what's interesting is it has a breather valve, a breather hose. So we ran the breather hose up through here and we mounted it right here. You know, in case we decide to cross a river in California, that's what it's really for. Anyway, the tow receiver with the shackle tabs, I'm very satisfied with the way it mounts. One thing I'm concerned about is this winch plate. This winch plate is from a discounted hardware store. So the material of the winch plate is very thin, and I am concerned that if I try any side pulls that this thing just may bend and fold. And I'm talking about the winch plate. I'm not talking about the receiver that we built. The receiver we built is going nowhere. For those of you who are going to be using this as a removable winch for temporary use, of course we recommend that you run quick disconnecting terminals and make sure you do it properly. And I also recommend you use some type of a battery disconnecting switch, like the ones we use in the Marines, in the boats. And that's for obviously safety reasons. So let's go out and have some fun. This is a bad idea. This is a very, very bad idea. I've had some bad ideas. This one tops it. So I was concerned about the winch plate, the tube on the winch plate possibly bending because it's of thinner material than our kit. To my surprise, it actually pulled the rock out of its foundation, we can say. So It dragged the rock. The winch plate didn't fold, which is not our product. I have to mention that. And our front receiver with Shackle tab kit is solid. It's perfect. It has a nice recessed mounting position, so you're not losing ground clearance. You could see the tube just barely passes the bumper, and this bumper, the way it's designed, is designed off the factory bumper's measurements. So that's exactly where the factory bumper ends. We're very satisfied. We will begin production. We have some minor changes that we'd like to do. We're gonna bring the Shackle tabs a little bit more forward, and this will be available for the Jeep Grand Cherokee WJ, the WK, and the Jeep Commander XK. And then we'll see where it goes from there. I want to thank you guys for joining HK Off-Road on our little testing here. We might go off-roading right now and try some more. We may not. We have a little problem over there with a fuel pump acting up. But as of for today, thanks for joining and thanks for watching.